All right, guys. Hello. So we are going to work on some of the stuff about cladograms really quick. So I wanted to go over a couple of these things just to make sure that you guys know what you're doing and that we have all the stuff that you need in order to do this. So you should have already done the cladograms close reading. And what that will do is help you with making sure you know just the kind of the basics. Okay, so you should have already done that. And now you're working on this. This is in the wall if you need it. So here's what we use cladograms for. Cladograms are used to study the relationships among certain groups of organisms. So what we're looking at is common traits and things like that that can also help us determine ancestry, right? So based on shared characteristics or derived characteristics. So question number 1 asks, what is a derived character? You can Google that. That's something that you can look up, but it's also in here as well. Okay. So let me show you how to read a cladogram. All right. Here's the cladogram here. And we have some of these animals. We have everything down from a hagfish all the way up to a gorilla. And here's how we read it. Down here at the bottom, this right here, this really long line, this is called our ancestral line. So it shows ancestry, right? So if we're starting down here, we're always going to start down here, wherever the bottom is. Okay. And as we move up, these traits, as soon as we reach these traits, it means everything after that has that trait. So hagfish falls before jaws, which means a hagfish does not have jaws, like jaws on your mouth. Yeah. No jaws there. However, everything that comes after this line right here does have jaws. That means that the perch all the way over to the gorilla, they all have a jaw. Now, if you look here, the next one is lungs. And with lungs, the perch falls in between jaws and lungs. So here's what that means. That means that the perch has jaws because it's after it, but a perch does not have lungs. And so that is how you read this down here, okay? Now, when you have up here, this line right here also shows traits, but it splits it off just a little bit, right? So eagle and rabbit are kind of, they have very similar traits, but one thing that separates these two is feathers. And the reason we put it up here and not down here is because not everything else that comes after has feathers, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to use this cladogram in order to answer some of these questions, okay? So some shared characteristics among rabbits and perch. Look here and see what they share, okay? And then use your brain here. If a mouse was added, where would it might be placed? See what you can do. Now on the back, what you're going to do is you are going to make your own cladogram. So here's how this is going to go. So you in the box here, if it has it, you're going to put a little X or a check mark. And if it does not, then you will leave it blank. So for example, an earthworm does not have a backbone, legs, or hair and fur. So we're going to leave that alone. Okay. And then you can look these up: codfish, frog, gorilla. Okay. What I'm going to tell you is that all of these have a backbone. Okay. And then you can go from there. So what you're going to do down here is you're going to build your own cladogram. So you're going to start with an ancestral line, one line, and then you're going to build your cladogram based on that. We will check this together tomorrow, but I want to make sure that you know how to do it. So you're definitely going to have like a long line like that. That's kind of your ancestral line. There we go. And then you're going to add in your organisms, but before you add in your organisms, I would do your traits. Okay. And then you'll answer these questions down here about the cladogram. And again, this is going to be a grade, but we will be going over it tomorrow to make sure that you guys were kind of on the right track. You do need to make sure that you please turn this in at the end of class, whether you are finished or not. Okay. All right. If you guys have any questions, please make sure that you send me a message on Remind, and hopefully I'll be able to answer. I'm sorry I'm out again, but like I said, I'm at a funeral. So you guys just let me know if you need anything.